La di da di da di da di da 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 da.
Everybody go Honestly, that's Welcome back, family heads. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
And I'm Tom Murphy.
And this is Tom Hates Albums.
Boy, do I.
In the last episode, you heard us discuss Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures, and this time we're taking the Halloween theme, we're bringing that a little further for the month of October, and we brought you Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Exactly. I love Stranger Things.
Me too.
It was solid. I watched it for the first time last year. I enjoyed it.
I watched every single episode over the course of last summer.
I see it as one of those shows where, like, as someone who kind of wants to write, I watch it and it makes me angry at how good it is. Like, I'm like, I'll never do this.
I'll never be Eddie Munster.
I'll never be this good.
Damn you, Duffer Brothers.
God damn it. Yeah.
Well, in good news, the strike is over.
That is true.
At time of recording, yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Until Tom's new Twilight movie comes out.
Twilight.
Every actor is gonna quit the business. Twilight. That's the sequel that I'm working on.
We got a Tommy Wiseau situation coming up, and I don't want to be there for it.
Well, you're gonna. I've already cast you in the movie.
Oh God.
Last week, remember when you signed that piece of paper for me?
Oh fuck!
You thought it was an autograph, but
I did see. I should have noticed the whiteout on top of the contract with the 8 peeking out from underneath.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, let's dive into Master of Puppets, though. Hey, this is AJ in Post. I forgot to say the history. Here it is. Well, family heads, Master of Puppets was released March 3rd, 1986 on Elektra Records, the same record label as Ween, and it is a very iconic metal album, one of the most influential thrash metal albums of all time. At the time, the lineup consisted of James Hetfield on vocals, Lars Ulrich on drums, Kirk Hammett on guitar, and Cliff Burton on bass. But now Robert Trujillo is their bassist after the tragic passing of Cliff Burton. So, Tom, initial thoughts, what did you think of this album?
Initial thoughts, it was an album that I definitely would listen to. It's the type of music that I would listen to.
I figured.
But the crux of this show is not whether I like songs on the album. It's whether I would listen to it as an album, right? We're looking for albums that I want to sit down and listen to in order.
Front to back.
Front to back. This is not one of them.
Yeah, and honestly, I can kind of see why.
I think I could tell you like one word that was said during each song, and it's like the title. like battery. It's like battery. It's like he's saying words in there. Like I hear his voice. None of it is coherent.
Yeah.
And also, like, in terms of songwriting structure, it is very repetitive.
That's what I said in my notes, actually.
And some songs are a little too long.
I would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That's actually another huge thing. Like, the fact that this is, what, 9 tracks, and the whole thing is like
53 minutes.
I think it's 8 tracks.
It's 8 tracks. It's 8 or 9 tracks, and it's like up to 42 minutes.
It's 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
That's a little insane. I don't mean to be that way, because the instrumentation is very good, and even Lars Ulrich, like, you know what I mean? How the fuck did he do that, given the fact of where he is now? Like, it's crazy. Tom, Lars Ulrich is regarded as one of the cringiest drummers of all time.
Yeah.
I thought that was AJ.
No, we established that he's better than Lars Ulrich.
That is true, because I can actually play Master of Puppets.
On the the penultimate track of, or not track, the penultimate episode
of season
1. Yeah. But I would definitely agree with you there so far based on what you said. Like, I feel like I don't see myself listening to this in full ever again, but there are tracks that did stand out to me for sure.
A big song that suffered from the being too long, I think, is the song Master of Puppets.
Really?
I agree.
It is
8
like
minutes.
3 songs.
I love that
It's
track.
Master of Puppets, and then all of a sudden a different, slower song in the middle, and then Master of Puppets again.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a
point.
I guess it's like a 2-act structure. You know what I mean?
It's
like
a 3-act structure. I
That's
feel like
fair.
there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
ABA. Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of the songs felt like they again, being a repetitive album, the songs were way too long to be that repetitive.
I mean, I will definitely say I don't agree with Master of Puppets. I think that song is perfect as is. I love it, but I'm also a prog rock guy, so like I love like the changing structures. I love how it changes things up in the middle, then goes back to like the initial riff after that.
Yeah, I think it would be better if it did it in a slightly shorter amount. You know, like if maybe like each section was like a minute and a half rather than like 2.5 minutes. Like I feel it's a long. It's like almost 9 minutes long. That song.
It is like 8 minutes 30 something seconds. I believe
like that. Yeah.
And like it is good. Don't get me wrong. And I love like the opening riff. Like it's so iconic, and like you can't help but think about Eddie Munson and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mean to be on like the bandwagon train, but that was actually the first instance that I even heard this song.
Same here. It's what got me to check out the album.
And I mean, for what it's worth, the album is very good. But I do think like if we're talking about Master of Puppets, like the track itself. I kind of agree with Tom in that aspect. Like, I feel like it's fine if you want to do like a 3-act structure type thing, but like 8 minutes is kind of a long time. And that's a guy who's a fan of Meatloaf. So like, I would do anything.
That song is also very long.
12 minutes. Oh, that song is 12 minutes. And it does not go by quick.
No.
It has sleigh bells, guys.
Well, those are
sleighs.
Crucial.
AJ, get the fuck out of here.
It's 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I looked or 40 or 36 seconds. But I feel like I need to get ahead of the narrative that I hate songs just because they're long.
That is true.
Because that isn't a thing. There are songs that are very long that I love. Like 69 by Ninja Sex Party is a really good one. But not only Ninja Sex Party, Dragon Force, Through the Fire and Flames. I love that song. That song fucks so hard. Maybe because I'm just a big Guitar Hero fan and I've watched a lot of people play it on Guitar Hero on the internet. I sometimes songs shouldn't warrant being that long.
I feel like it earns it here though. I mean, the instrumentation is great. I think the pacing is very good. In terms of like theme, it's about like drug abuse.
Yeah.
So the different sections are supposed to represent the different stages of taking drugs, and then it repeats the cycle all over again. So I think it actually works very well in that regard. And it's just catchy, man. Like I love it. I love working out to it. It's great.
I did find for the whole album, it's a lot better to listen to when you're doing something else. Like I listened to it this morning when I was getting like in the shower where I couldn't really do anything else but listen to it, and it was getting very repetitive. But when I started driving here and I was like finishing like the last 3 songs or whatever before I switched over to something else, I was getting into them more because I would like zone out into driving during the parts that were like slower, and then like a sick guitar riff would come in and I'd tune back in and be like, oh wait, this
we are so back.
We're so back. This is so good. And I think I would have benefited, like my ratings would be higher on all of them depending on how focused in and like actively listening I am or not.
I kind of had a similar experience with one of the later tracks, actually, which we'll get into probably a little bit later.
Yeah.
In terms of the tracks that are on this album, Tom, which one, we'll start with you. Which one stood out to you that you have in your notes, do you think?
I did really like Battery, actually.
It was good.
Despite only knowing one word of the song. I know he said other words. I only, like, the only one that was, like, legible to me, like, I understood with the word Battery.
Yeah.
I did like Master of Puppets a lot. That's like I put it at like 6 out of 10. I put Battery at 7 out of 10.
It's iconic.
Okay.
As far as I liked Orion, the instrumental, like the guitar solos and
space rock
Orion.
froggy vibe.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
And Damage Inc. I liked a lot too, as far as like instrumental goes.
All right, interesting choices. Would you care to elaborate on certain tracks? Like what you liked about
it was mostly just if their like guitar solos stuck out to me, because that was the main crux of a lot of these. Like the instrument, like the lyrics mean nothing to me on these songs. They're all it's just like them screaming, usually like the title or like something vaguely related to the title over and over again, on top of like super awesome
instrumentals.
Like, instrumentals. Guitar, specifically guitar and drums are what stick out to me more often than anything
the bass
else.
is really fucking low in the mix, which I'm also not a fan of.
That I did notice that a little bit.
I wish I heard it more. I mean, when you can hear it, it's good, but I think that's just like a product of just metal music in general. They're just really low tuning, so you can't really hear it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too.
I'm glad you enjoyed those tracks.
Yeah, I did. Overall, I enjoyed the album, I would say, but I don't think it's enough to remove the Tom Hates album.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
fair.
I still, overall, the concept of albums is not something I agree with.
That's this album's albatross.
Yes.
Album tross.
The goal is to find an album that I truly enjoy listening
Yes.
to in order, and like, this is how this music should be listened to.
We're getting there. Apparently, we're making progress.
I wonder if we should take...
Res.
It's close.
Think about
I
it.
appreciate it.
I'll
For
take
the audience
yeah.
at home, think about
I'll
it.
take it. You know, we got one.
Yeah.
Ring the bell. That was cool. Anyway, AJ, what tracks like stand out to you as a whole?
As Tom mentioned, Battery, Master of Puppets. The thing that should not be really grew on me.
Same.
I initially didn't really like it, but like I love how kind of like 90s grunge the guitar riff is.
That's one of the ones for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like love the sound, how just like lumbering it feels. It feels like literally a giant monster is on its way to destroy a town.
I also love the lyrics on this one too.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm trying my best to be better with lyrics because there were lots of points last year where AJ would be like, it has this beautiful meaning and it has so much like amazing, like, you know, nuance. And I'm like, that's what this is about.
It felt like a running gag through season 1, to
It
be
wasn't
honest.
a
As
bit.
someone who listened to all of it, yeah.
It wasn't a bit.
loved
I
it,
just
though.
never pay attention to the lyrics. So I'm trying
Same,
my best
to
now.
be fair, same.
Sometimes like the delivery of certain artists that we would choose just did not lend itself to like
it's
a
hard
casual.
to keep up with. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like Schizoid Man in the very beginning.
20th century schizoid man.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
We will get to that later.
Spoiler, a little foreshadowing for what's to come.
Remember from last episode.
That's one thing with this album. It's funny we were kind of mentioning Crimson King. This album made me want to listen to Crimson King more.
Yeah, I mean, metal is definitely rooted in prog rock.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
You can't just have like guitars like that and not sing about something epic. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or just have like just extremely technical musicianship, just without listening to fucking Led Zeppelin or King Crimson.
does this album have a Mellotron, AJ?
I think
what
that's
I
one of
thought.
the biggest faults of this album is the lack of Mellotron.
That's what I
That's
fucking
what I
thought.
thought.
Yeah.
He was too busy fighting Optimus Prime.
But if we're talking about the thing that should not be,
We're just gonna brush past that.
Leave it in. Leave it in. Absolutely. I stand by that joke. Oh shit, they're
was nice.
outside.
Oh fuck! They joined the mob.
dude, we're fucked.
It's over, man.
If they
The
join
Autobots and the Decepticons have teamed up.
and Shia LaBeouf.
Oh god, Sam Witwicky.
Mark Wahlberg couldn't make it. though.
Witwicky.
And then that's a good thing. We don't
Yeah,
fuck
Mark
with Mark
Wahlberg
Wahlberg
was
here.
too busy.
Absolutely not.
Doing hate crimes in the 80s.
The lyrics
Amen.
of the thing that should not be. I love the way it talks about like insanity and like the chaos crawling underground. Like something about that. I'm like, yeah, it is.
It's cool.
It is crawling underground.
It's all about like Cthulhu, man. It's dope as hell. I love like the guitar solo too, which mimics that. It sounds like a monster like shriek coming through like tentacles. It's so fucking cool.
It's a nice little production choice for sure.
Yeah.
But what other tracks stood out to you?
Welcome Home, Sanitarium. I really liked.
I liked
another
Sanitarium
one.
too.
That's
Actually.
another
That
one.
was another one that stuck out to me. that
You're
I
naming all the
forgot.
ones on my list.
Oh,
Stop doing that.
I'm sorry. I always steal your thunder, Matt. I know. I just want to be you, Matt. You're so cool.
To be fair, there's only like 8 songs.
That's
so
true.
the chances of us having overlaps, unless you listen to the other
11
version,
hour
that, like,
version.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fucking good.
11-hour, like 30 song. I was like, is this the one I should listen to?
I was like, yeah, absolutely.
I thought about doing it for the bit, and then coming in here and trying to review the 11-hour. I'm like, guys, I did it all for the podcast.
Oh, you weren't supposed to do that version, man.
Oh,
It's just a fucking Joy Division situation again. But
All
like,
over again.
the
We
rest
never
of
learned.
the rest of the episode is you guys talking with gentle sobs in the background as I just cry.
In madness, Tom dwells. But I do really like Sanitarium. I think it's a nice. I feel like this album is actually really well paced.
it is.
Like,
I mean, for the most
yeah.
part.
Yeah, I feel like from Battery to this track, it's a nice kind of like calm down. And I feel like Welcome Home Sanitarium does really kind of capitalize on that. I really like the storytelling and the imagery here about like an insane asylum. I love like James Hetfield's narration, how it slowly gets more deranged the more like he goes into it. And I also just love how it goes from like slow to fast with verse chorus.
He has a very interesting delivery.
Yeah, it's not great, but
It's not the worst I've ever
Yeah.
heard. I was actually going to say I'm leaning more towards like I like it.
Yeah, for Master of Puppets, it is good. For a metal album, it's definitely it's iconic and it works. But like, you know, for like a trained vocalist, it's not going to be great. But it's James Hetfield.
Listen, if it works for the sake of the tone and the aesthetic, I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I was
That
really
was me, ladies and gentlemen.
God damn it, Tom! You're always taking credit for our conquests.
Listen. I need the fans to love me. Okay,
That's gonna be like.
So do we.
We're gonna make like merch, and we're gonna just do any single sound you do as like your catchphrase,
that would be funny.
and put it on shirts.
A shirt of the dumb shit that I've said would be. I'd wear it in public.
Matt, what did you like about Sanitarium?
Well, again, the lyrics and like his delivery, like we kind of corroborated.
Yes.
I didn't even think I knew what
That was good.
I didn't think I even knew that word.
I think it's up to a 7th grade reading level, dude.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
I'm so proud of you,
Thank
son.
you. Thank you, Dad. Nate, get the fuck out. I'm not your nephew. I'm not your. Damn!
That's my first time I've been here when he's been here.
Is it?
Yeah, he's never been on one of my episodes. He was too afraid of me.
I have grease all over me now.
Yeah,
it
he
sucks. He slimed me, guys. No, I threw him in a grease trap to try and to slip him into like this little cage.
If anything, it made him harder to catch.
Yeah,
Like the
now he can climb
Family
up
Guy
walls.
bit.
he's the grease so deaf guy. No one's ever gonna.
He's the greased up tone deaf guy.
No one's ever gonna catch me now.
Oh man. Oh my god. Anyway, I do think that the lyrics of Metallica's Welcome Home Sanitarium was I like them a lot. I think he's portraying a really good like theme here.
Yeah.
Especially since like I will give it like, even though the album is a bit too long for my taste, it paces itself well in the middle, I would say. I think it's more in the beginning and the end where I find that it's a bit slow.
Between Orion, Leper Messiah, and Damage Inc.
I don't even fucking remember Leper Messiah, to be honest with you.
It's not the best track.
Listened to it and I don't remember too much about it, to be completely honest.
Another one I really like Disposable Heroes. I really fucked with that one.
That was one where I was starting to get to the point where I was like worn down by and I did remember like actively tuning back into that one. Like, oh, I actually kind of like these lyrics are like coherent. Like I kind of understand what's going on here. I still gave it like an okay score. Like I didn't think it was like one of my favorites on the album, but it definitely was a highlight, a positive like light on the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I think kind of like hearing Metallica do this anti-war message is pretty cool, and the way they do it is very cool, showing like the heart, like literally showing the horrors of war. Like the guitar riff at the beginning sounds like helicopters, like landing in. The lyrics of like the sergeant, like the 21 something.
Are you on this album, or did you sing the vocals?
The J does stand for James, I will say, and I'll leave it at that.
I knew it.
Albert James
Hetnari.
I had a feeling that was the truth.
you cracked the case, guys.
What can I say?
It's over. Matt, what did you think?
All of these pauses need to stay in. I feel like my episodes alone should have the like awkward silence.
It makes my job easier. So you kind of mentioned all of the like all the ones that I had, but we haven't talked so much about this one track. I had 4 that really stood out to me. Title track, obviously, it is very iconic, even though I do agree it's a little bit too long for my taste.
Even though like it is long, it comes back, and like I definitely do. I would enjoy the whole song if I could listen to it. Like, you know what I mean?
Sections.
It's all good. It's just a lot in one sitting.
But the title track, I would say, definitely stood out to me. Like the riff, even though it is a bit long, the comeback is pretty good, I will say.
I gotta say, the fucking guitar solo in the middle is just so triumphant. I love that. I love it so much.
A very worthy episode for Stranger Things to utilize that song.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well said, Matt.
It is triumphant.
It was tough.
It really was. The thing that should not be definitely was one that stood out to me too. Like I like those lyrics, and then Sanitarium. But the one that is my favorite is Orion.
Orion's cool.
Orion is definitely my favorite, and this might not be necessarily because of like just the track itself, but I have a fun little story for you.
Ooh.
I take a film analysis class, and we were watching the film Do the Right Thing.
It's a great movie.
It's fucking incredible.
That movie's so good.
But given the fact that, listening to albums does take time, and, I have to go to class, I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and put on this song in one earbud during a part in Do the Right Thing. Which is funny because the movie does not have like any music in this one section of the entire film.
Yeah.
Like with the building.
Yeah.
But like it sort of added this like hysteria like aspect to it, which like, is there like any sort of like background behind why they wrote the song Orion?
From what I gathered, no. It was mostly they were letting their bassist Cliff Burton kind of just like go off and do his own thing, because it's very much bass led, because there's 2 bass solos in here. And it was just kind of a chance for the instrumentalist to get a chance to shine. Also,
for the record, I was listening to other parts of the album, like in other parts of the movie, just in my ear, because I was also taking notes, like while I was like, you know. But this song happened to come on during like one of the most crucial parts of the film.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I had to revisit this and talk about it a little bit more, because like I think the combined thing was just a lot. But for some reason, it kind of made me appreciate the song a little bit more. If that makes sense.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah.
There's like a weird like hysteria aspect to this like instrumental. And like I think instrumentals are very interesting, because if you can portray like a lot without singing anything at all, that's
impressive.
Like, it is.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say the movie like helped like me like this song, but like honestly,
interesting like
combination.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean for it to really happen. I was just trying to really kill 2 birds with 1 stone, take notes for the class, take notes for the album.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a weird sort of like coincidental fusion of things.
It's kind of like if you ever heard the Dark Side of Oz theory, where like the Wizard of Oz lines up perfectly with Dark Side of the Moon.
I have heard of that, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
It's bullshit, but
I've heard the theory.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
I've seen like a rip of it on YouTube. I mean, it's cool. Like it's a cool experiment, but like Pink Floyd did not specifically write Dark Side of the Moon to line up with Wizard of Oz.
No, absolutely
That's
not.
just what they want you to think, listeners.
Yeah, Roger Waters actually supreme mastermind.
It's what they
want. Great person all around.
It's what they want you to pink, actually.
Listeners, you know the truth, okay? Go out there and fight for what is the truth.
The Munchkins.
Exactly. Get in the comments and tear this man to shreds for being ignorant of the dark side of Oz, okay?
But yeah, Orion's pretty cool.
I do like it.
I do like the space prog rock like break in the middle. That part just fucks so heavy.
And upon the second re-listen, I definitely like was really trying my best to like, you know, focus on it.
Yeah.
Since I had too many things going on at one time.
Fair.
But like it is a great instrumental, and like I definitely like a lot of the choices made.
The guitar solo is fucking awesome.
It really is.
It's so good.
Shall we get into final thoughts then?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think that's a good idea. So Tom, did you hate this album?
I don't think I hated it. I don't think I loved it though. I feel like the true goal is to find one I love.
Exactly.
And I don't love this one. However, my type of music is music that I can play air instruments to. I love to play air guitar and air, especially in the car. I love listening to like Elton John or like Billy Joel and playing air piano on the steering wheel. Air drums are my personal favorite.
In the car or like?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. If I'm stopped, especially, I use both hands. If I'm not stopped, I use one hand. That out of context is wonderful.
Brother, you and me both.
Hey, that's the shirt. That's the shirt right there.
2 hands is preferred, but I'm okay with one hand. I feel like I look so young.
Always dressed as Superman.
A t-shirt that says he's just so young would kill.
Yeah.
But I like to play air instruments, and this is definitely an album that I could like pretend to play guitar to. You know what I mean? Like that's as a extremely white person, that's my favorite way to dance. So like that's my go-to is like air guitar, you know? So this definitely fits into that genre of music, and this is definitely the kind of genre of music I listen to. A lot of my music taste is influenced heavily by my father. My favorite song is Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, which is, I don't want to say the same vein as this album necessarily, but like close enough.
Not really.
But close enough that it's like the same to me.
Same era.
When you know music to the level I do, it's all just rock music. You know what I mean?
guess
Like
that's
there's
fair.
no like I don't know the difference between prog rock and math rock or heavy metal and
thrash metal.
Like it's all the same to me. I just know what songs I like and what songs I don't. With all that being said, I like this album, like a 7.5 out of 10, probably. Like I don't want to give it too high of a rating because I feel like there are albums that will fit into like the 8, the 9, the 10 that I will like more than this. For right now, I'm comfortable putting this at like a 7.5. I could see that changing as we listen to more albums and I start to like understand the scale and stuff. But for now, definitely above average, but not like a top tier. I'd put it like maybe a B, a high B, a low A.
Okay.
That's tier list.
Better than Joy. It's better than Joy Division.
Better than Joy Division. Better than Some Nights And I think Led Zeppelin too.
This album had a similar flaw to Joy Division in the fact that it was very much like the same thing over and over again.
Okay, so album with variety. Maybe we should.
The problem is I like variety, but I also don't like that many different types of music. So I need variety of a very particular couple of types. And so that's why albums are a struggle for me. So yeah, Metallica, 7.5 out of 10. That's what that was about, right?
Exactly.
Hey, yeah. It's better than Joy Division.
That is true.
Better than
I like Joy Division, but it's better that Tom liked this.
I don't think Joy Division was bad. I just don't think it was my cup of tea.
That's fair. Very, very astute.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt, what did you think of Master of Puppets?
Overall, I like the tone of this record. I think it's very palatable metal, which is the side of metal that like I really fall under.
Yeah.
I guess from the first episode of this month,
spooky season.
For the first, as you guys know, from the first episode of this month, from the album that I brought AJ, Opus Eponymus, I think like I gravitate more palatable metal, other than like you know what I mean, like
like Ring Wraith, like Dementor-esque vocals.
The Nazgul.
Yes.
Sorry, doing that. I'm not a vocal or metal vocalist whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm not Ben Masholi over here.
That fucking piece of shit. Talk about those two.
Yeah.
You know, I actually just saw Ben last night, so I'll tell him he said that.
Please do. I hope he's listening. And he hears it from my mouth.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He is one of our like prime listeners.
While I'm at it, Evan too. That guy. Those two suck. You know what I mean? Imagine showing up and needing two people to get even close to the quality I bring by myself. You know?
Oh, I'm sure they would love to, put that to the test.
I would be honored. We should do an episode together.
You know what?
The five of us.
Should.
We
Maybe
really,
a
really
special.
should.
I think
Just
maybe sometime in April or something.
Yeah.
I'm actually busy in April.
All of April?
yeah, just the entire.
Fuck.
Okay, well, we're scheduled for May. Actually, May's kind of like booked too.
Yeah, I've decided I'm gonna quit the podcast. Actually, just like at April, like April 1st, like I'm done.
Your 6 months notice.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I just wanted to get ahead of it.
He's resigning.
Thanks for the heads up.
I'll leave my gun and my badge.
One other thing I'll say about like my overall thoughts of like this album is that like all of the bandmates really work together as as one unit. Even Lars, he did a pretty good job.
I know,
what
solid.
the fuck happened? I listened to Saint Anger.
Yeah, Napster happened, and then Lars lost his fucking mind.
Jesus Christ. Okay. One unfortunate thing about metal is that it can seem very repetitive by nature, especially when you just kind of are hearing like bah, 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 like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I can see this being very repetitive and redundant for people who like A, don't like Metallica like so much, or B, just aren't like a fan of like the sound.
Yeah.
But I will give credit for the album for being rather different in its lyrical content. I feel like Hetfield did a pretty good job with the lyrics, and I really vibed with a lot of the themes.
Yeah.
And instrumentally, I felt like this album is a bit repetitive, but like lyrically, it can make up for that. Plus the parts where it shines, it just really shimmers. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Master Puppets stood out to me. The Thing That Should Not Be, Welcome Home Sanitarium, and then Orion. Those four were the ones that I was like, I really vibe with these. So overall, I would give this probably like, let me think. I didn't write down a rating. So
Off the spot, let's go.
I would say I would give this a solid like maybe 8.
Yeah.
Like a solid 8 out of 10. And then probably the same as Tom, like low B or high, or sorry, high B or low A.
Look at us. You're a copycat.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I enjoyed this album. I think more so than I listened to it the first time. I mean, the instrumentals are just fantastic. Each band member just fucking brings it, and it's great. I do like thematically, it is impressive how they're able to cover such a wide range of topics and do it surprisingly well for a metal group. And just like hearing it, how it's like, how clear it is what they're trying to get across, because that is like a flaw of metal, is that it's a lot more imagery and subtlety based on screaming and loud instrumentals, which doesn't really come across as well, but here it does work very well. Yeah, a lot of the songs are a little too long, which makes for a repetitive, boring listen at times. I feel like it gets a little better the more you listen to it, when you kind of like listen more for the subtleties and the intricacies. But overall, I'm going to give this like an A-, I think. And I'll leave it at that.
So we're kind of roughly in the same ballpark area in terms of like the tier list.
Pretty much, yeah.
think I would have given it a higher score if I could listen to each song like in a vacuum separate from each other.
That's fair.
But when I'm ranking the album as like you're supposed to listen to the whole thing kind of in one sitting, that's my rule for like how I'm ranking it, and that's what the real drawback is. I feel like I would love all of these songs if I just listened to them, having not also listened to about 45 minutes of other music of the exact same kind.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's pretty fair, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that'll conclude this episode of Tom Hates Albums.
I have one little final thing that I must do since I promised it on the last episode.
That is true.
By all means.
I listened to the Crimson Court.
In the Court of the Crimson King.
Yes, that's it.
By King Crimson.
Yes. First of all, 10 out of 10 on the just album art right off the bat.
It's iconic.
It's cool.
As far as music that I enjoy, though, it's not my cup of tea. I don't think it was bad, and I don't think I could tell you any of the names of the songs at this point. And like I know
21st Century Schizoid Man.
That one was interesting. I did listen to it twice over the last month.
Oh, really?
And I enjoyed it more the second time.
Nice.
It grew on me a little bit, but I still think it's like it wouldn't have topped my, like if I ranked all the albums you guys listened to last, I don't imagine it'd be my number one.
Well, I mean, Star Bomb's just so tough to beat.
That's true.
It's so good to me. I'm sorry, okay? Maybe my music taste is bad, but that's why I'm here. Let's be honest. I like the synths. They have a lot of synths, and Dan has good vocals.
And funny poop jokes.
They're so good. I didn't get a single Pokemon pun in the entirety of
Crimson King.
However, I do think it was good. Overall, I think it was good. It definitely warranted, like, I understand, like, I can see why it's your favorite, but it's not for me. So I give it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, on a little below Metallica this week.
Okay.
But like definitely above average. Like good. It's not.
It's better than Crybaby.
Absolutely. Crybaby was like a 0 out of 10. I didn't get through 3 songs. I'm assuming the quality of the songs in the latter half are akin to the beginning. So
yes, they actually get worse.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it
relatively, yeah.
And from what I understand of listening to albums, you only fatigue the longer you listen to them. Yeah. So I don't imagine I was going to get more like
into it. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you somewhat liked it.
I feel like in like 10 years, every time I re-listen to it, I'll like it a little more, and then it'll be really good.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just good.
And I'll take that.
We'll take just good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not as exciting of an ending as last week. Not as like uproarious.
That is true.
But still,
that's a hard to beat reaction.
Yeah, I made a promise and I stick to my promises.
And that's why we like you, Tom. All right, that'll do it for this week of Tom Hates Albums.
Boy, do I.
As always, I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
I'm Matt Glass.
And I'm Tom Murphy.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye-bye.